Mark Tolson and Walt Gordy have been friends for over a decade, and one of the bonds they shared, they both grew up without siblings, or so they thought. Then, in a strange twist of events, a devastating diagnosis revealed a shocking truth about their friendship.
I grew up as an only child and, always wanted a brother or sister.
I used to kind of envy people that had siblings because I always wanted a sibling, but it was all I knew.
Mark Tolson and Walt Gordy both grew up as only children whose mothers had them through artificial insemination almost 40 years ago. For Walt, a close and loving sibling certainly would have been a blessing 5 years ago when he was diagnosed with cancer.
January 2014, my uncle noticed a lump on the front of my neck, and I was going to a specialist, and they ended up telling me that I had a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
The life-threatening diagnosis came as a shock and spurred Walt to undergo DNA testing to find out if he was at risk for any other health issues.
I'm not a sickly person. It just kind of blew my mind, and I got on 23andMe to figure out, why did I get cancer?
Coincidentally, around the same time, Mark submitted his DNA for testing after the birth of his son.
You have a son now, you should really find out who your father is so you can trace your heritage and then find out more about MJ's heritage.
But when the results came back, Mark got the surprise of his life.
Boom, all the way up to half brother, 18.9% DNA. Walt Gordy III. I see his name. I'm like, man, I know him.
My phone rings and it says Mark. And he was like, man, you ever heard of this 23andMe? My results came back today and it says we're brothers. I'm like, what?
It turns out Walt and Mark's moms used the same Texas sperm donor.
He was saying, my mom was artificially inseminated at the medical center here in Houston. And I was like, wow, my mom was too. And then I mentioned the doctor's name and he said, yeah, that's him. From there, it just kind of took off.
The two men still marvel how their friendship turned into family, literally.
I feel a closeness to him that I don't feel with anybody else. No matter if we get along or not, he's still at least supposed to be here.
I just can't thank God enough for putting him in my life and having to go through cancer the way I did. It's all worth it for this guy here.
Their story's not over yet. Turns out there's more long-lost family out there.
I got on 23andMe in January and another sibling popped up. So maybe he'll reach out one day. If not, then, it is what it is. But we have each other right now. We're thankful for it.
Walt Gordy now calls his cancer diagnosis the best thing that ever happened to him and the ultimate blessing. We certainly wish these newfound brothers all of the best.